What you got for us, Angelica?
Well, I've listened in on several podcasts and interviews that you've done, so I really appreciate your content.
Thank you.
So, yeah, I really like your conversations. They're relatable, and it's not all the super high level, like where I don't understand.
Girl, I try to keep it as easy as possible because people often criticize me. Oh, you don't get sciencey enough. I'm like, look, I'm not trying to reach the hyper geek. I'm trying to reach the person that they come into this community and they're like, where do I start? I want to be that entryway for people to on-ramp onto what beta-hydroxybutyrate means, what gluconeogenesis means. Before you hear those terms, I want you to kind of know a basis of things. So thank you for that, by the way.
I'm in that category that you're trying to capture.
Good.
So much appreciation.
Thank you. What question you got?
Okay, I started my journey back in January.
Yep.
I'm morbidly obese. I weigh, well, now I'm like in the 310 range. I'm 5'10", type 2 diabetic. So I've been yo-yo on and off for years, and finally started to feel pretty bad in January.
Okay.
Probably because I binged in the holidays. So I've been on more strict with myself since January, and I have lost weight. I'm down 50 pounds, but I'm kind of just stuck there, and I'm doing intermittent fasting.
What kind? What are you doing for the intermittent fasting?
I typically have like a 6-hour eating window.
Okay, so that's good. 18-6.
Right, 18-6. I do from noon to 6 p.m.
Every day?
It's my typical...
Angelica, do you do that every day?
No.
Okay.
Not on the weekends.
Okay.
But like
keep going.
From like Sunday to Friday, I'm pretty strict.
But you do it every day. You do it every day, Sunday to Friday. I'm just trying to build in my mind what you're doing as your routine. So Sunday to Friday every week, you're intermittent fasting that 18-6, the exact same hours every day of those days.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah, and I realize I probably need to change that. I mean, I can't remember.
You already know the answer, Angelica. You already know the answer before I say anything. You already realize you need to switch up your intermittent fasting. Because 18-6, I love 18-6, by the way. I think if you're going to do an intermittent fast, that's a really good one. But one thing that I've learned, and I've talked to several of the fasting experts, and I recently did an interview with Dr. Will Cole, who has a new book called Intuitive Fasting. You should probably pick it up. But in the book, he talks about trying to switch it up a little bit. And I've come to this conclusion as well of it's not just about intermittent fasting. It's about intermittent fasting, meaning one day do 18-6. The next day, eat a full day of meals. The next day after that, OMAD, only eat one meal. The next day after that, maybe skip the whole day. You see what I'm saying? You kind of implement all of these different strategies to keep the body guessing. And so what you're doing now is the equivalent of going to the gym and working out the exact same weight every single time, exact same routine, everything. So that could help you see that scale start to move. That's just one thing that's screaming out at me right away. Keep going.
Okay, and so fairly low carb. My sugar range, so I'm trying to do two things. I'm trying to cut back carbs to the 20 grams, which most days I do that. But I'm also reducing the amount of insulin that I'm taking. So
how much do you take?
Right now I take like 15 units of each.
As a type 2 diabetic?
As a type 2, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
And how long have you been type 2?
Since 2009.
Okay, so a little while. And have you been insulin dependent how long?
I got on insulin in 2013
because
I got pregnant.
Okay,
but before that, I was on metformin.
Okay, so 8 years you have been on insulin at around this 15 units, or it's just progressively gotten higher to the 15, right?
No, I used to take very high doses.
Okay,
so it's dwindling down.
Okay, good.
Yes.
And do you have a doctor watching you while you're eating keto to watch that dose of the insulin? Okay, good. Good for you. Like most people.
But she's not not necessarily keto.
Well, of course.
She's supportive, but not, I know more than her.
Well, the main point is, you want to keep an eye on that, because when you go low carb is even more powerful than metformin at modulating your need for insulin. And so that's good that you're being watched. Okay. So the fact that you take insulin, this is another key as to why you're struggling. Yes, you've lost 50 pounds. Kudos to you. But the problem is insulin is a fat storing hormone, and you're still injecting yourself with this stuff. I understand why. I understand your reasons why you're doing it. But a lot of the doctors that I've talked to over the years, they're not worried about insulin because injectable insulin, because they're not worried about the blood sugar, because it will come down very naturally. Now, keep listening to what your doctor's saying, but start really figuring out a way to titrate that insulin down, because you won't be able to truly see sustainable weight loss until you're off of that injectable insulin.
Okay. And that was my question, was how high of sugar reading or glucose readings should I go before I decide that that's what I need?
May I ask what your A1C is?
My A1C the last time I went was 5.2.
Oh my God, girl. You are at 5.2. Now listen to me. Anything under 5.5. Now that's 5.2 with the insulin. So I recognize the insulin is helping you get that. But anything under 5.5 is incredible. Incredible. Mine is 5.1. I'm a non-diabetic. Mine's 5.1. 5.2 is incredible. How do they still have you on insulin? So I would say, and again, consult your doctor, but I would say get really strict with the ketogenic diet, implement some of this intermittent fasting that we were talking about, maybe even some extended fast of 3 days every once in a while. Work your way up to that. Don't just do that the first time, but implement these things.
Right.
Get out in the sunshine during the daytime. Get a little bit of exercise in. Do some deep breathing meditation to kind of de-stress your life. I'm assuming your life probably has some stresses in it.
Yes.
Yeah, so everybody's does. It was an easy softball question to you. And so do all these things and try to focus on your sleep. Girl, you don't need that insulin. Seriously, I think if, and I'm telling you, consult your doctor. I'm not telling you get off willy-nilly on your own, but try to figure out a way to get completely off that insulin, because you won't see that scale move until you do.
Okay. That's what I've been wondering, because I've been listening a lot about, I listen to all you guys, everybody, and that's what my question was. And I thought, well, and I am working with my doctor, so I saw her about a month ago, and she wants to see me from 3 months from that visit, so 2 more months she wants to see me again.
Right.
And we did discuss not taking insulin, but like she couldn't answer that question, because I'm like, what should my numbers be naturally with no medicine?
Right. So
that I should be an indication. Like, and I think it's really going to be up to me.
Yes. Well, here's the thing, Angela. Angelica. I said Angela, sorry. Here's the thing. When you come off of that insulin, you may see some transient higher blood sugars. Although you've been on keto long enough now, I wouldn't think they would go super duper dippity high. Well, you may see a fasting level in the 1-teens, maybe 120s, but 5.2 A1C, that's an average blood sugar, like right around 100. Like you're doing really good. Like that's all time. That's postprandial. That's before eating, everything. Do you test your blood sugar now?
I test it all day.
Okay.
All day.
What is it? Listen. What is it typically in the mornings?
Typically in the morning, it's in the 90 range.
Okay, that's wonderful.
Goes up.
What is it? Okay. What is it 2 hours after a meal?
It can go up.
Okay, I assume it's going to go up. Look, I assume it's going to go up. Tell me what the number is. What's kind of did you have something to eat today, and what was it 2 hours postprandial?
Okay, so if I include carbs,
Why would you include carbs?
Well, my 20 carbs.
Okay,
what do you? I mostly do carnivore for the most part.
Okay, but what?
But sometimes when I have my salad with a little bit of carbs, that will go up to 160.
Okay, so what? Hold on. What carbs do you eat when you have your little bit of carbs?
They vary. I allow a little bit of fruit.
Okay, there's the problem. Hold on. Stop there, Angelica. Cut the fruit out. What else?
Keto ice creams.
Okay, cut that out. What else? You want to know what your carbs should be if you're going to eat? If you're going to eat carbohydrates, fruit and sugar-free ice cream are probably some of the worst ones as far as healthy carbs. If you're going to include carbs, do things like broccoli, cauliflower, asparagus, spinach, that kind of thing, because that's going to serve you better. What you're doing by having those other things is, one is a sugar bomb, but I don't know what you're eating. Berries, is that what the fruit is?
Yeah, strawberries.
Yeah,
And blueberries.
And nothing intrinsically wrong with that, but you're trying to control diabetes and lose weight at the same time. They're the antithesis of that. It's probably why you're still holding on to that 15 units of insulin. If you drop the berries and get the blood sugar more controlled naturally, you may not need that. And then as far as the sugar-free ice cream, yes, it's a better option, but a lot of the... What's the brand, by the way?
Of my berries?
Sweetie, I was talking about your ice cream.
Oh, the ice cream?
Yes.
The
Carb Smart.
Breyers, I think.
Carb Smart. So yes, that one has a shitload of stuff in it that is the antithesis. I mean, there's better ones out there. If you want a good ice cream, there's one called Rebel that's pretty decent, that's pretty darn keto. But I think for your goal right now, your stated goal of getting off of the medication, the insulin specifically for your type 2 diabetes, of losing more weight, of getting blood sugars under control, your aim right now is to focus as heavily as you can on those animal-based foods. Cut those carbs out. If those are the only carbs you're eating to fit your 20 grams a day, just get rid of those and basically go full-bore carnivore for now, at least till you hit your goals, and then reintroduce berries and see how you do. It seems to me that, you know what's wrong now. Does this make sense that you're identifying all the reasons why you're struggling?
Yeah. Yes. Yes. I do want to ask one more question, and
Sure.
I know you can't really answer it, but just kind of pick your brain. So I gave you my weight. I'm at like 310 right now.
Okay.
I do have a feeling that the weight loss will come because I am exercising more, and then if I make these changes that we're discussing. So what does it look like? After a little more weight loss, and I'm sure it'll change as I go along, but what do the blood sugars, what typically happens in someone in my case to those blood sugars?
Well,
like say I stop the insulin, after like 30 pounds.
Yeah.
What does it look like
So
after this?
I wouldn't worry so much about blood sugar. I think the bigger thing that's going to happen to you, and look this up if you need to. I've written about it pretty extensively in pretty much all my books, but definitely in Cholesterol Clarity. You're going to see a normalization of a lot of the metabolic health markers. So things like inflammation. So if you ever go to your doctor and there's this marker they run called HSCRP, stands for high sensitivity C-reactive protein. It's a real fancy gobbledygook term that basically measures your level of inflammation. And without inflammation, Angelica, you cannot have disease. And so if you lower inflammation, that's going to naturally lower your insulin needs and your insulin in your blood. That's naturally going to lower your blood sugar. It's going to lower your triglyceride levels, which is the really bad fat in your blood. So yes, part of the thing of losing weight is it's going to normalize a lot of the things in your metabolism, which by extension of that, Angelica, will allow you to add back in those berries and other kinds of carbohydrates that you're trying to enjoy now, but you're not quite ready for them yet.
Right. Okay, thank you, Jimmy. I really appreciate you taking the time. Love hearing all your interviews and following you on Instagram. So
Thank you
so much.
Thank you, Angelica.